Sweethearts, this entire lawsuit is a waste of court resources.
Blake's image is now trashed, so now she wants to kind of pull back.
And honestly, Justin has not been treated fairly.
Justin Baldoni's legal team is putting Blake Lively on blast, and they're not holding back. In a letter sent to a judge on Tuesday, Baldoni's lawyers accused Lively of trying to hide key evidence from the public. They claim she's attempting to keep important documents and information under wraps by pushing for a stricter protective order. And let's just say, they're not falling for it.
But on the 20th, which was I think last Friday, Blake's team filed for a slightly modified type of protection order that would include increased protections to third parties. Now, we covered this filing. I told you that essentially what was buried in it was what I would describe as the Taylor Swift clause. I'm just calling it the Taylor Swift clause, essentially allowing the respective lawyers to just deem anything that they want, attorney's eyes only. Right?
Lively is suddenly pushing for secrecy, wanting the evidence to be accessible only to attorneys. But Baldoni's team finds it ironic that someone who's been so vocal about her accusations in the media now wants to keep evidence hidden. They argue this isn't really about safety. It's about controlling the narrative and protecting a reputation that's already been put under the spotlight.
And I'm going to show you what they said. They said, given how actively the Lively parties have publicized and litigated Ms. Lively's claims in the media, we are surprised to now learn how vehemently she wants to prevent the public from accessing material and relevant evidence.
The legal battle escalated when it was revealed that after filing her lawsuit in December, Lively and her husband, Ryan Reynolds, allegedly gave a confidential administrative complaint to the New York Times. Baldoni's lawyers aren't letting that go. They argue that this so-called confidential information included thousands of pages of original documents, text messages, and emails, material that was never meant to be public. Yet, Lively's team had no issue handing it over to the media. Now she suddenly wants to keep key evidence sealed. Baldoni's team is calling it out, arguing that if Lively was truly concerned about protecting sensitive details, why would she leak so much to the press in the first place?
The Lively parties provided the New York Times with Ms. Lively's otherwise confidential administrative complaints filed with the California Civil Rights Department and thousands of pages of original documents, including text messages and emails. So that's kind of like a pretty strong argument because they're saying, we're just like to remind the public that it was clearly her team who leaked private text messages.
But here's where things get even shadier. This isn't the first time Blake Lively's team has been accused of trying to hide something. They also tried to bury a recording of an interview with her agent, Ari Emanuel. But despite their efforts, the recording still got leaked.
Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds' powerful super agent appeared on a podcast explaining why he believed Blake Lively instead of Justin Baldoni, is how he called it. And then something odd happened. The podcast didn't get recorded. Neither the audio nor the YouTube video, both just miraculously didn't get recorded. Well, turns out it did.
Now that raises a lot of questions. Why would Lively's team want that recording to disappear? And more importantly, what was said in that interview that had them scrambling to keep it hidden? Well, the leaked recording is here, and you're about to hear it for yourself.
Let the record show for those listening at home, Ari just slit his throat. I mean, it's a fucked up, bad situation that Baldoni or Baldoni, whatever his name is doing. And his partner. Now, he was your client too, it's already until I fired him. Right.
As if the situation wasn't dramatic enough, Ryan Reynolds decided to add fuel to the fire on national television. During Saturday Night Live's 50th anniversary special, he cracked a joke about the lawsuit, turning a serious legal battle into late-night comedy. But Justin Baldoni's team isn't laughing.
That's awesome. Who else? Who else has a question?
I have a question.
Oh, hey, Ryan Reynolds.
Hi.
Hey. Ryan Reynolds, how's it going?
Great. Why? What have you heard?
Baldoni's lawyers are furious, calling Reynolds' SNL moment a planned skit designed to publicly humiliate Baldoni. While they're fighting to prove that Lively is deliberately hiding key evidence, Reynolds insists it was just a joke. But Baldoni's team sees it as something much more calculated. a strategic move to sway public opinion and downplay the case.
Worst of all, in a planned skit on NBC's Saturday Night Live 50th anniversary special, which attracted 15 million viewers, Miss Lively's husband, Ryan Reynolds, stood up and made a joke about her claims for sexual harassment and emotional distress. Yeah, it's a pretty strong argument. Now you're saying like anything being revealed to the public would be too much, but weren't you guys the one that like made like a whole movie?
Now, this battle isn't just happening in the courtroom. It's playing out in the media, on social platforms, and even on SNL. And with Reynolds openly mocking not just Justin Baldoni, but also his own wife, things are getting even messier. Blake Lively's legal team isn't backing down, and they're making it clear why they want certain details sealed. In their latest motion, they argue that the case involves high-profile figures and serious harassment allegations, meaning revealing certain information could put key witnesses at risk. You're not just throwing out hypotheticals either. Lively's team claims that she, her family, and even cast members from It Ends With Us have already received violent, profane, sexist, and downright threatening messages. With tensions this high, they believe an enhanced protective order is necessary to prevent things from spiraling further. But it's interesting how that same concern didn't seem to apply when it came to Justin Baldoni. When rumors about him started swirling, there was no hesitation in letting that information spread. No worry about how it might affect his safety or reputation. Now, with serious allegations in play, Lively's team is pushing for an enhanced protective order to prevent things from getting worse. But when the narrative wasn't about her, that same level of caution didn't seem to matter. Blake Lively isn't just fighting a legal battle, she's fighting to control the narrative. In her amended complaint, she paints a gut-wrenching picture of personal suffering, describing how the non-stop online abuse has left her feeling trapped, isolated, and emotionally drained. Some days, she claims, the attacks are so intense that even getting out of bed feels impossible. But let's be real, does that line up with how she and her husband have been acting? From the outside, there's been no shortage of smiles, public appearances, and even jokes. If the situation is as devastating as she describes, why doesn't it show? Lively's team insists this has taken a serious toll on her mental health, physical well-being, and even her career. But we've all seen Ryan cracking jokes, keeping up with business ventures, and moving like nothing's wrong. The courtroom isn't just a place for legal arguments, it's a battleground for control over the entire narrative. When Blake Lively first filed her complaint, she came in swinging, aggressive and confident, likely thinking Justin Baldoni would back down under pressure. But now that Baldoni isn't just standing his ground, he's coming with receipts, Lively's tone has suddenly shifted. Her legal team is now pushing hard to keep certain details sealed, insisting it's about protecting key witnesses and preventing intimidation. But let's be honest, this sudden pivot to secrecy raises questions. If there's nothing to hide, why the urgency to lock things down? Baldoni's side is arguing for transparency, and let me tell you, that kind of confidence only comes from someone who believes the truth is on their side. So, what changed? The way Lively is retreating after starting so aggressively makes it seem like she wasn't expecting this level of pushback. And if she's suddenly so defensive, it's fair to ask, what is she really trying to keep under wraps? One of the most controversial aspects of Blake Lively's lawsuit is her claim that other women have come forward with similar allegations against Justin Baldoni. In her amended complaint, Lively's legal team introduces anonymous testimonies from women who allegedly felt uncomfortable working with Baldoni on the set of It Ends With Us. But here's the kicker. These women are unnamed, and there's no way to verify their claims. Baldoni's lawyers are calling this out as a strategic move, arguing that anonymous allegations can't be properly challenged in court. They're pushing for full transparency, questioning why Lively's team is relying on secrecy if their case is truly solid. This raises a major question. Are these real testimonies from actual victims, or just another attempt to damage Baldoni's reputation without evidence? This Hollywood showdown is just getting started, and you know we'll be keeping an eye on every twist and turn. Stay tuned and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more updates as this messy drama continues to unfold.